Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about translations and isometries. There are three geometric transformations that can be called isometries. A translation is just like sliding a figure. Rotation is like turning a figure, and reflection is like a mirror image of a figure. So notice in each of these isometries that the figure moved, but it maintains its original shape and size. That is the definition of an isometry. So isometries are any shape that is moved but maintain the original shape and size. Now let's look at some examples to determine if each of the sets of shapes represent one of the isometries that we did on the last slide. If it is an isometry, we're going to identify its type, which would be a translation, rotation, or reflection. And if not, we'll explain why not. So take a look at letter A. We have A, B, C, so this is a triangle. And notice that the second triangle has these little apostrophe marks. So the shape without the apostrophe marks, that means that this one is the original image. When a shape has these little apostrophes, they're called primes, so C prime, B prime, A prime. That means that this shape was somehow moved, translated, rotated, reflected. There was some kind of movement that made this shape be this way, so it's not the original image. So I want you to think about, was this original image translated, rotated, or reflected to get the new image? So if this image, or if the original image was translated, then there would just be another triangle up here, and it wouldn't have rotated or reflected. So it's definitely not a translation, which means it's some type of reflection or rotation. So now we have to decide which one it is. Is it a reflection or a rotation? So if we look at the vertices then, if it's a mirror image, the B would be in the same place, but think about taking this triangle and folding it over. If I just flopped it over, this vertice wouldn't be C prime. It should be A prime. And then this vertice right here shouldn't be A prime, it would be C prime. So if it was a reflection, these two vertices would be A prime and C prime. So that tells us that this is a rotation. So what I want you to think about is taking this original image that we have here and then rotating it this way, and then it would make sense that the C is over here. So it looks like it was rotated 180 degrees. Let's look at letter B. We have TFMW. So we want to be paying attention to the vertices. This is my original image. And then we have the new image labeled by the apostrophes. Again, that's called F prime, T prime, M prime, and W prime. So is this a translation, rotation, or reflection? So this does represent an isometry. It is a reflection. So remember, a reflection is like a mirror image. And if we look at the order of our vertices, we have T and W. So if T and W were just mirrored over to this side, they match exactly with T prime and W prime. So it's like I can flip this original image over and it would land exactly on the new image. Let's look at letter C. We have this weird looking shape here. So first determine if it's an isometry or not, and then if it is, which type of isometry it is. So for letter C, this shape is not an isometry. And it's one of the reasons it's not as isometry is that this shape looks smaller than this shape. So the shapes aren't the same size. And remember, the definition of isometry is that the shape maintains its original shape and size. Another thing you want to look at are some of the points. So if you look at R to D, R is like on the tip and then it goes down to D, which would mean on this, it should be an R up here instead of an F, and then this should be a D. So the label on these vertices don't even match the labels that we have here. So if this is N, then this would have been N prime. If this is M, this should have been M prime. If this is K, then this should have been K prime, and so on. So sometimes when we're trying to figure out if something is an isometry or not, it's helpful to know the corresponding parts of the images so that we can compare them. And it's also important to know the difference between the original image and the new image. So the original is just going to be labeled with B. So like the vertices up here, they just were labeled with a letter. The image or the new image will have that apostrophe and we call that prime. So it'll be B prime. So this will tell us that it's a new image, that something was done to the original to get this new image. So if we look at angle W in letter B, there's an angle right here. So if I have angle W on the original, then the image would have the prime. So we could write angle W on the image as angle W prime. Now let's look at segment RD. Segment RD was part of letter C, and it was this part right here. So which segment corresponds to segment RD on the other shape? It would be segment FA. So even though these are not isometries, they do have corresponding sides. So the RD, segment RD right here, corresponds to segment FA. So now let's name the figures above and their images using our corresponding points. So if I label this triangle going from A to B to C, that would be triangle A, B, C. The image would need to go in the same order according to the corresponding parts. So if I did A, B, C, then I would have to go A prime, B prime, and C prime. So it would be A prime, B prime, and C prime. So when naming the next couple of shapes, there's no shape that we put in front of the letters that name the vertices. We just name the vertices. So if you look at the quadrilateral in letter B, we just have to make sure that we name the sides with the corresponding image sides. So if I labeled this quadrilateral as TWMF, the image would have to go in that same order. So we would label it T prime, W prime, M prime, and F prime. For this last shape, we just have to know where we started so we can get the corresponding sides in the same order. So if I start here and label this R, D, N, M, K, that would correspond to F, A, R, G, P. I don't have to put the prime marks because the letters are different for the vertices. So the order is what matters. So it would be F, A, R, G, P. Next, we're going to work on naming corresponding angles with letter C. So here's letter C. Which angle corresponds to angle R? If this shape was rotated 90 degrees, angle R would be in the same position as angle F. So that means angle R corresponds to angle F. Now let's look at angle D. What angle would correspond to angle D? Angle A would correspond to angle D because they're in the same position. Now I'd like you to try finding the other corresponding angles. So next, find the corresponding angle with N, then find the corresponding angle with M, and last, find the corresponding angle with K. Okay, I've rotated the shape so you can help see the corresponding angles. So angle G corresponds to M, R corresponds to N, P corresponds to K. So it's simply taking this original shape, and if you rotate it, it would be very similar to this image. Now that we've rotated the shape to make it look similar, we can list pairs of corresponding sides. So we're only going to do this for this figure here. So I covered up this image so we don't get too confused, because remember, this was the original image and I just rotated it over here to help us match the corresponding parts. So if I was trying to find segment RD, which is here on the original image, what segment would correspond to segment RD on the new image? Segment RD would correspond to FA. Next, let's do segment DN. Segment DN would correspond to what segment on the image? DN would correspond to segment AR. Now I would like you to find the rest of the corresponding sides for the following segments. You'll do segment NM, segment MK, and segment KR. Go ahead, pause the video, and find the corresponding segments for these three segments. So segment NM corresponded to RG, segment MK corresponded to GP, and segment KR corresponded to PF.